Good morning, scholars. Welcome back to the channel. This morning we're looking at algebra at the grade 4 level. So we're looking at algebraic equations, how we are to translate actual situations into algebraic equations. So we did a video on algebraic expressions, which are you're just saying what's happening with the numbers, right? You're not making it equal to anything. So right now, we're actually doing equations. So what is an equation? An equation is formed when one expression or value is made equal to another expression or value. So we are looking for the equal sign. This is what makes it an equation. Otherwise, it's just an expression. You're just saying, what is happening? What am I doing to x? What am I doing to y? What am I doing to the two numbers? One step further to that is making that expression or making that value equal to a result. Now, since we're doing algebra really involves using letters to represent unknown quantities, and usually the aim is to find out the value of that unknown quantity. So the letters, we call them variables. Variables because their value can change according to the situation, right? So here we're using x to represent an unknown quantity. We want to know 3 times which number would be equal to 12. 2 plus which number would give 15. Half of which number would give 60. And in the video that's going to follow this one, I'm going to show you how to actually solve these equations to find what's the value of x, what's the value of y, what's the value of x. But for now, we're just looking at the situations that are given, the scenarios, and we are going to write algebraic equations that sum up or that tells us what's happening with that scenario, right? So again, let me read the definition of what an equation is. An equation is formed when one expression or value is made equal to another expression or value. So here we have an expression, 3x, where we're saying whatever x is, we're multiplying it by 3. We're expressing that whatever x is, we're multiplying it by 3. One step further though, we're saying when we multiply this number by 3, the result will be 12. So what is that number? When we add 2 to a number, the result is 15. What is that number that we add to 2 to get 15? And so on. So I'm going to read what the situation is. What are we being asked to do with the numbers or the terms? And what is the result? And like I said, in the next video, we're actually going to solve the equation to find out the value of the variable. What is the value of x? What's the value of c? What's the value of a? So this says, when a number is increased by 21, the result is 40. When a number is increased by 21, the result is 40. Therefore, we're going to use any letter we want or any symbol. It doesn't have to be a letter. You can use a triangle, an asterisk, a square, a circle, or just use a letter. So let's say we were to use a triangle to represent the unknown number. So we're saying when this number is increased by 21, to increase something means to add to it. So it's increased by 21, the result is equal to 40. And that's how we would write that equation. When a number, the triangle here representing the unknown number, when a number is increased by 21, the result is 40. That's our equation. Number 2, thrice a certain number gives 18. Thrice means 3 times. It's kind of like an old way of saying it's not often used these days, but you should still know what it means, right? Thrice a certain number gives 18. So let's say we're using an asterisk this time to represent the unknown number. Thrice means 3 times. So 3 times that number gives 18. What is the number that the asterisk represents? And next video we're going to see how to solve for that number. So this is our equation. 3 asterisk equal 18. When 3 is subtracted from a certain number, it leaves 15. So we're going to have a number. We're going to use a letter to represent the number. And we're subtracting 3 from it. And the result is 15. So let's say we're using x to represent that number. When we take 3 from it, the result is 15. This is our equation. A certain number, subtract 3. Remember, 3 is subtracted from the number, not the number subtracted from 3. You have to read that carefully, especially with the subtracted. Subtracted from which one? So the one that you're subtracting from, that goes at the front. So 3 is subtracted from the number. The number subtract 3 gives 15, and that's the equation. Number 4, Debbie is 14 years old and Carla is twice as old. So if we wanted to express Carla's age, right? Debbie is 14 years old. So we could use D for Debbie. Alright, so Debbie is 14. And Carla is twice as old. Alright, so Carla's age would be 14 times 2. That would give us Carla's age. Since we already know Debbie's age is 14, and we know that Carla is twice as old as Debbie's age, right? So Carla, twice means 2 times. 2 times Debbie's age would give Carla's age. So we just need to multiply Debbie's age by 2 to get Carla's age. All right, let's look at some more. The sum of 7 and another number is 36. So we're going to use a variable, a letter, to represent the other number. The sum means to add. The sum of 7 and another number, so 7 plus a number gives 36. That's the sum. 7 plus a number gives 36. Number 6. 60 divided by a number gives 10. So 60 divided by a certain number, and the result, the answer is 10. The product of 16 and a number is 48. Product means we're multiplying. So the product of 16 times a number gives 48. This is the product of 16 and the unknown number. So we would be asked to find out which number when you multiply it by 16 you get 48. What is the number? Next video we're going to see the steps to take to actually solve the equation for the unknown number. A number decreased by 11 gives 22. So the number, we start with the number and we decrease the number by 11. We're taking away 11 from the number. See, it says a number is decreased by 11. We have a number and it's getting smaller by 11. We're taking 11 from it. And it gives 22. So all we're doing is writing the equation for the scenario that's given. We're not solving them right now. That's for the next video, right? All we're doing is writing in algebraic form what the situation is telling us that's happening. So number 11, 63 subtracted from x gives 28. So we're taking 63 from the x. So we start with the x. X subtract 63. Remember, this is subtracted from this. 63 is subtracted from the x, from the unknown value. We don't know, but there are ways we can find out. This is just the equation. This is just the mathematical sentence. So we call these number sentences algebraic sentences. When a number is doubled, the result is 70. What do we mean by doubling a number? When you double something, you multiply it by 2. So in other words, the number times 2 gives 70. So we want to know, what is that number? What is that number which, when I double it, when I multiply it by 2, or when I add it to itself, that's another way of doubling something, right? Multiplying by 2 means adding the number to itself. When I double the number, I get 70. How would we find out what that number is? Check the next video. So let's see, number 13, a certain number divided by 8 gives 4. We could write it like what we did here, with using the division sign. I'm going to show you another way of writing that. So we can actually say the number divided by 8. So we can write the number, draw a line and put 8 as the denominator. A number divided by 8 gives 4. So we could write it, the number divided by 8 gives 4. Right, using the division symbol, or we can put it as a fraction with the denominator. So number 14, 25 more than y. 25 more than y. More than mean what? We're adding to y. So we start with y and we're adding 25 to the y, and the result is 43. 25 more than y. Y plus 25. Number 15, a certain number subtracted from 100 gives 37. So we're taking the number from 100. So we're starting with 100 minus the number, and we're getting 37. Remember, we can use any letter. If they don't tell us which letter to use, we can choose any letter or symbol to represent the unknown quantity. Sometimes they tell us which letter to use. So they might say X, or they might say N or Y. If not, just choose any letter or symbol, right? Number 16, think of a number. So as soon as you hear think of a number, just choose a letter or symbol that you're going to use to represent that number. Think of a number, just say X, N, A, whichever letter you want. So think of a number, add 7 to it. So I'm thinking of a number. I'm going to use W as my variable to represent that number. I'm thinking of the number using W, and I'm adding 7 to it, and the result is 18. So this number, when I add 7 to it, I'm going to get 18. How do I find out what that number is? When x is increased by 11, the sum is 92. So here they're telling us that we are supposed to use x as the variable, as the unknown quantity. So when x is increased, increase means to add. When x is increased by 11, the sum is 92. Which number, when I add 11 to it, I get 92? Can you work that out in your head? Can you think which number, when I start with that number and add 11, I get 92? Some of us can do that. But if you can't, I'm going to teach you how to do it in the next lesson. Number 18, half a number gives 4. Remember, when we're halving anything, we're dividing it into 2 equal parts. So we can say the number divided by 2 gives 4, or we can write it in fraction form. The number divided by 2 gives 4, whichever way you want to put it. Number 19, a number minus 8 gives 30. So let's say we're going to use P as to represent our number. A number minus 8 gives 30. When I start with this number and I take 8 from it, I get 30. And number 20, when a number is decreased by 1, the result is 1. Do you know what number that is? If I start with a number and I decrease it by 1, if I take 1 from it, the result is 1. So I'm going to use B to represent my number. So I start with a number, I decrease it by 1, and my result is also 1. What is B? What is that number? I'm going to teach you in the next lesson how to solve these kinds of equations. Alright? How to get from the algebraic equation, the word sentence, to actually finding the value of the variable, the unknown quantity. What is it? Which number are we thinking of? Which number satisfies that situation? If you have been helped by this video, please drop a comment to say thank you, miss. I would really appreciate that. And I would also appreciate if you would share the video so that other students can benefit from the information. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And if there are any topics you want me to do videos on, just let me know in the comments and I'll do that for you. Thank you for joining me again, scholars, and I'll see you in the next lesson.